Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Chicks TV. I am here to catch up on my weekend and reality reviews. Up first is Ready to Love. Y'all know I've been waiting for Ready to Love to come back. And if you all watched any of my past videos, y'all know it was year-end close at work. I was extremely busy. I didn't have time. I worked last weekend. I did not have time to do reviews. This weekend, I was supposed to be at the Rick Ross concert. They canceled it. They pushed the concert back to February. So, good thing Rick Ross canceled that concert because I said, Angie, you ain't going to the concert. Just it ain't canceled. It was postponed. But good thing the concert was postponed. So I sat down. I caught up on all my weekend and reality reviews. So this is going to be a double episode. But I'm going to try to make it fast because, that first episode of Ready to Love is kind of, yeah, you just really getting to know people. It's not as deep as it gets once people actually make true connections and they feel like somebody they man. There was already somebody on day one that thinks somebody they man. Whew, let's get into it. So we at the meet and greet. I said some people I kind of changed my mind on at the meet and greet. Um, Frank, he does have a sexy voice. He does seem a little bit short, but it's something about the way he commands the room and draws in the ladies just with his presence and his essence and his energy. I like Frank. Corey, I thought Corey bad. I thought Corey was unattractive in pictures, but he's unattractive on video as well. Like he has a nice body, but whew, I don't see how Corey is still there. But we're gonna get into that. Courtney is a Leo, which I love all Leos. And Tasia, that's how you say her name. I messed it up in my cast assessment. Forgive me. She's from Chi-Town, and you know I love everybody from Chi-Town. So let's get into the episode. I just finished a good old day of work, so I'm drinking me some Stella Rose. Let's get into it. So it's episode 1, and 2 people are going home again. And y'all know how I feel about 2 people going home on episode 1. It's just you really have nothing to base this off of but first impressions and looks. Let's just be factual. You aren't getting that deep with anyone. You aren't getting like some people annoyed me was like he just surface level. We can't get past the surface. When you first meet somebody, you're not running down your life story. You're not telling all your skeletons. You can't get that deep on a first meeting. So you're pretty much just sending people home based on their looks, who you think is attractive or not. And that's pretty much it. Let's just keep it real because there's not too much you know about people night one. Um, the first thing I noticed is Corey is walking around the party. He's showing us his copy and paste. He's telling every lady that he likes their energy. Do you think I'm attractive? I think you attractive. Go ahead and give me your number. Let's go on a date this weekend. We can do Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. What you got? It hilarious. He did that to damn near everybody. That was so funny. Tasia, I can see the trust issues in Tasia. I see how she continues to ask people the same questions 50 million different ways. Are you single? Yes, I'm single. Do you have a girl on the side? No, I'm single. Do you still have a sneaky link? No, I'm single. Have you cheated in the past? Bitch, he's single. You interested or not? I'm sorry for calling you a bitch, Tasia. We cool. Camille and Cornelius hit it off. I thought they were cute. I thought their conversation was cute when they first met, but it wasn't enough for her to be like, you my man vibes. Like, and it wasn't even like, ha ha ha, that's my man. Like, we already know I don't watch the next episode. She really think that's her man. But all right, Camille, keep it cute. Don't go crazy. Don't go Denise too soon. Keep it cute. Shiloh is at the meet and greet in some hideous black sheer polka dotted dress. That's all I wrote down about Shiloh. Like that dress was a no man. I'm surprised that dress didn't get you sent home, but I love Shiloh's energy. I just love everything she brings to the show. She likes some sexual healer therapist, and I just like, girl, tell me more. I want to know some tricks. Like, give me some of that. I do like Shiloh. The people who I thought had the most chemistry, we saw Walter and Sabrina come across our screen, and it was just natural. It was just natural. They didn't have to try. Their conversation just flowed. I think they came back to each other at the end of the night, and they just had an even deeper, like, they were the only people that got deep. Like, she cried because she's her mother's caregiver, and her mother, I don't know what she has, but she's her mother's caregiver. And he was like, I took care of my parents. My mother died in my arms. It was just like, I like them too. They both seem ready. They both seem mature. They both seem like they did whatever kind of work they had to do from their past to be where they are today. I know it's really episode 2, but it's the first episode, and those are my favorites. Those are the people I'm pulling for. Like, I know, Walter, you got to move around. You got to talk to all the ladies to stay in the game. Sabrina, you have to do the same. But I hope you all find your way to still stick it out with each other. Like, don't go all crazy and be like, we a couple and other people vote you out. But I really want Walter and Sabrina to find a way to stick this out the whole thing. I really like them together. I noticed, oh boy, Naeem, who only like natural hair and no makeup, was all about the big asses. He was like, I see your ass first. I'm like, Naeem is full of shit. I can already tell it. Some about him I don't like. But let's move on through the meet and greet. I believe Dante and Shiloh had a moment. They're both from, well, she's from Trinidad. I think she said Trinidad and Mexican. And his stepfather is from Trinidad. And they bonded over that. And so I like Dante and Shiloh. I really like Shiloh's energy. Um, there's a point of the meet and greet where all the girls are together and they exposed Corey. Because they was like, yeah, I know we got a little date coming up. What's our date? Friday? And old girl was like, I thought we had a date Friday. Well, he told me Friday, Saturday. The way they exposed Corey was hilarious. And then Shiloh came over and was like, yeah, I thought we had a date too. And it's like, oh, we over him. Bye, Corey. How did Corey not go home night 1? This is production. Production wants this mess on the show. I don't know how he survived night 1. So Tommy is back. And, you know, they go through all the women they feeling. It's too many to name. Let's talk about the men that they weren't feeling. Or this is what the men is saying. They don't like Libba because she's scatterbrained. And I believe Libba was one of my star players. I did not like, this is going to sound awful. I didn't like how Libba showed up to the occasion. Like, she didn't have her best foot forward. The dress was way too small. She had that breast spillage where her bra was too small. That just looks sloppy. It's not sexy. It looks sloppy. And her hair looked uncombed. So Libba didn't put her best foot forward. And she was a little bit scattered talking to Dante, not Dante, but Frank and Aisha. They were talking about tattoos, and she seemed a little drunk. I thought Libba might have been a little tipsy. But what do you expect? You at a party with free champagne that is flowing effortlessly. They didn't like Carrie. Somebody said they weren't sexually attracted to Carrie. I didn't like that they put that in there. Like, one man isn't sexually attracted to Carrie, so she at the bottom. Forget him. And they didn't like to see us rapid fire questions. I agree. Tasia had a way of asking the same thing, and it made her look like you could just see she's been hurt before in the past. And I'm like, girl, this ain't the show for that. You got to get over it, put yourself out there, and move forward. But I believe by the next episode, since Tasia was saved, she'll get through that. Tommy's talking to the men. Now tell me in the comments, Camille talking about Cornelius is my man. Now, did she say that, or was that a flashback of her saying it somewhere else? Because I'm like, I hope she's not on night 1 already saying who was her man. This gonna be some mess. The ladies don't like Lamont. They said they felt like he was at a job interview. Lamont was also someone who showed up not with his best foot forward. Like, his suit looked sloppy. It was too big. it didn't look. He didn't look pulled together. Like when you come to a meet and greet and you know it's a dating show. Somebody going this season 5. Somebody going home first. You got to put on your best outfit because all they have to go off of is looks. Episode 1. So look, they ain't like Lamont. Tyrone was too quiet. I definitely changed my mind about Tyrone after the next episode. We'll get into that quickly, shortly. And Corey, of course. Corey is copy and pasting the thing. So Corey is at the bottom. But who went home surprised me. Lamont went home and Libba went home. I liked Libba. It is what it is. 2 people had to go back. Tasia is pissed. She was like, it's too many men that got my cell phone number for me to be at the bottom. And I feel you, Tasia. The one thing I promise you, Tommy, I'm going to read. I don't want to hear no big girl comments about Tasia. So I don't know why she's in the bottom, but I don't think she's going to stay there. But let's move along to the next episode, which is episode 3. Tasia comes into the next meet and greet, and I love her. It's the Chi-Town of it all. She reminds me of my mother. My mother is very direct, and my mother is very point blank and period. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. Anything. It's very matter of fact. And Tasia was like, what's up? Why was I in the bottom? I need to know what y'all ain't like about me. I love it. And some of the men were honest. They was like, I didn't get to know you the other night, but I'm definitely going to get to know you tonight. Some men said they didn't vote her in the bottom. I don't know. I just like how she was very matter of fact about it. I like to see it. Up next, we learn Tommy says this week is to get to know everybody, and one man is going home. So the men are on the chopping block. I already know the answer because I watched the episode, but I put my guess right here. My guess was Tyrone. I said I thought Tyrone was going home, but he surprised me, and I really changed my mind about Tyrone this episode. At the meet and greet, we learned that Tyrone views himself as, he was like, I'm a tech guy, I'm kind of nerdy, I'm socially awkward, and he was like, this isn't really his vibe. I get it. I used to date a guy just like that, who he was into tech, he was socially awkward, he was a nerd, and I was still in my 20s, I was still on my bad boy thing. But we ain't gonna go backwards. We ain't gonna go too far back in that. But I remember it was hard for me. Shut up, Angie. Moving on. Carrie and Carrington had a meeting. She said he asked too many questions and he didn't get deep. I want to know, what do you ask somebody? Like when you first meet somebody, I'm gonna ask you questions like, are you an only child? How's your family life? Do you have any kids? What do you do for a living? Do you have a house? Like, you ask those generalized questions. I don't understand what these people want to be asked when you first meet somebody. You definitely don't do what Camille did and ask people what their credit score was. That's tacky. That's very tacky. And what does the man's credit score got to do with you? Moving on. I see a moment where Courtney is talking to Cornelius, and I said, okay, the setup of the season is definitely going to be a Camille, Courtney, Cornelius feud. I can see this happening all the way through, probably close to the end. We see that's one of the main setups. I don't know who Sabrina was talking to. I think she was talking to Corey. Sabrina is talking to Corey. Corey is still trying to get Sabrina out on this date, and Sabrina is not into you. It's written all over her face, her body language. She does not like you at all. And I wish this is a perfect opportunity, Sabrina, for you just to be honest and be like, Corey, I don't like you. Because he's like, I want to take you out on a date. And she's like, well, why you just can't get to know me now? He's like, I'm good at first dates. Like, Corey irks me. I don't get it. But then in the next scene we see, just when we knew Corey was getting ready to go home, Mumin, I hope I'm saying her name right, Mumin gets a flat tire. And Corey is the knight in shining armor who helps change the flat tire so she ain't got to wait on AAA. Girl, you could have told him thank you and moved on, but she awarded him with the date. So we get to finally see what his first date action is like. I got to skip around in my notes because I want to get that out the way. The first thing I noticed about this first date, if it was me, I don't want to go exercise hiking in the woods as no first date. That's not romantic. I don't want to ride or a tree like a horse. I'm like, where's the first date magic? That's all you got to give. A hike in the forest. I can see why you only get first dates and not second ones. Mumine says she liked Corey or gave him a chance because her love language is acts of service. Is that really a love language? It could be, because one day I wrote them all down and I could only come up with 4. So maybe acts of service is the last one. But she said she's trying to give different guys a chance. Corey is quirky and nerdy. And I agree. Corey has no game. 0 game. What else about Corey so I can get this date out the way? I said the first date sucked. He needs to continue with his copy and paste. Like, I can see why Corey has the copy and paste mentality, because his game sucks. He has no game. He doesn't know how to talk to women. All he has is those 6-packs, abs. His fashion isn't all that. I can see why he just goes to Instagram with his abs and copy paste, and he never gets past the first date because he's corny. Corny Corey. But let's move on. So, who's next? Camille sets up a date with Walter and asks Courtney and Cornelius to come along as a double date because she wants to see how Cornelius acts around other women. This girl, Camille, how did you get 3 rings? Is that fact checked? She calls herself the Black Widow, but she seems like she, in the cast assessment, she made it seem like she's this alluring, vibrant woman who can get any man she wants. She done had 3 rings. It ain't nothing. I'll leave him at the altar. Fall in love with me and you gone. All I'm seeing is a woman who's very desperate, sinking her claws in the first man she attracted to, and it looks like she's about to go crazy throughout the rest of the season because I think Cornelius is really interested in Courtney. It just seemed a little crazy to me. I don't know why you would even do that to yourself. Why make yourself jealous like this? I don't know. Let me get back to their date. I skipped around in my notes because, the show pieces all around the place. So they're talking about sex and relationships. Walter says sex is very important in a relationship. Courtney says she got to try it out. Ain't no sex before marriage, because if the sex is whack, that's it. I agree. You got to try it out. Now, Camille asked this question about, do you believe in sex before marriage? I believe Camille, maybe off camera or they didn't show it, has already had this conversation and knows that Cornelius is no to sex before marriage. And that's why she threw that out there so Courtney could throw herself under the bus. But I don't think Cornelius cares. Like, I see a better vibe with them two because Camille give me a little bit of crazy. So, and you notice how Cornelius said a little slip up, you can't help it if you slip up. So it seemed like Cornelius will try to have no sex before marriage, but if he gets with Courtney and she want to get down, he gonna get down. And that was pretty much the end of their date. They had a good time. I thought she was gonna ruin her chances with Walter, but it seemed like all 4 of them had a good time in that little group date. It was cute. Now, this is where I changed my mind about Tyrone. Tyrone had a date with Zadia. I love that name, Zadia. It's just a pretty name. Tyrone opens up and says he has PTSD. I called it from the cast assessment. Now, I was a little bit mean, and I'm ashamed of myself. I was mean at the cast assessment because I believe I just said it was something about his eyes that seemed off and crazy to me. That's why you got to get to know people. You can't really judge people like that. I understand. I know people who've been over to Iraq. I got family members that are still being sent overseas today at this current time. And so I know about PTSD. It's very serious, but it's something that can be managed. And it seems like he's went to therapy and got help for it, and he recognizes his triggers and his signs. I just really like that he opened up. I don't think Zadia is attracted to him, but I'm happy he had that moment on television with somebody, so we as the viewers could get to know him better and see him date along. But I don't think Zadia wants him. But I really like Tyrone after that scene. I like the openness. Next we have Aisha and Carrington. He's over here admiring her blonde hair, her long nails, and those nails were fire. They were cute. I can't wait. Now that year end is over, I can grow my nails back out long. Y'all know I like my long nails to wave them at the camera. But I had to cut them short for year end so I could type. But that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. She wants to know, okay, you 33, I'm 38. You cool with older women? And he was like, yes, he likes older women. Aisha says she wants to know what he does for a living. He's an event planner. Now, she read event planner is into party nightlife. I'm like, event planners, that could be weddings, birthday parties. Like, it ain't just clubs. But oh well. She said, it's too many women in that nightlife. So now she goes for the hard questions. Have you ever cheated in a relationship? Is that a fair question to ask people? Because, I mean, do you answer that honestly? I mean, if a man says, no, I've never cheated, you're not going to believe him. If he says yes, you're going to look at him and be like, once a cheater, always a cheater. People have cheated. Like in my younger life, high school, college, I have been unfaithful, but that doesn't mean I'm unfaithful. Now people change. So I don't think you should be concerned. Like, if have you cheated? Maybe if you ask in your last relationship, have you cheated? Now, if he just cheated in his last relationship, that's a totally different story than have you ever cheated? Because people have cheated. People have done fucked up things in life. No one is perfect. But if they are a good person, they have growth and change. But anyway, that ain't none of what Carrington said. Carrington talking about how can you cheat if you ain't never been in a relationship? I ain't never been in a relationship that long cheating. You know, I fuck him and move on. I ain't in no. I'm like, how are you 30? The red flag is, how are you 33 years old and never had a serious relationship? That's like, some boy last season, I forget who it was. I don't want to be your first at 38. I don't want to be your first love. I don't want to be your first relationship. No, man. That's the red flag to me. Aisha gets emotional. She talks about she was married from the age of 19 to 31. She went to therapy. She got her children therapy. You can already tell her children mean everything to her. And she says she doesn't want to enter any new relationships broken. I respect that. She did the work. Like Ayanna said, you got to do the work. I like Aisha, but not with Carrington. But moving on. We have another group date. Dante, Naeem, Tasia, Shiloh, Zadia. They talking about their turn-ons. Tasia likes smart men. Don't we all? Shiloh likes physical touch, and Naeem touches her. She says, I'm very sexual. I'm very sensual. And I didn't write down everything she was talking about because I was too busy listening to what she was saying. I just want to listen to Shiloh. I love her energy. I really do. I think Naeem, they start asking everybody their craziest sex places. Naeem said the shower, and they was like, that ain't too crazy. And Shiloh was like, it's not crazy. It's just dangerous because you can slip. And like, your ass can slip. And that's the last thing you need to. I agree with Naeem. That's the last thing you need to do is be calling 911, sitting on the floor naked with a broke hip because you was fucking in the shower. Embarrassing. Somebody somebody said, was it Zadia? She had sex on the pitcher's mound of a baseball field. I was like, girl, how you even get out there? Had to be screwing a baseball player or somebody who worked there, but that ain't none of my business. So it's Tommy time again. We learned that Aisha was in a car accident. That's crazy. That's crazy, but obviously she's okay because the show has moved on and they haven't said anything about her being hurt. They said Phil was on his way, and I had to put on my thinking cap. I said, who the hell is Phil? Is Phil on the show? Does Aisha have a man? I don't know, but whoever Phil is, he needs to make himself known because I don't recognize Phil. So, number one, Tommy, talking about all this other stuff. And number one is Cornelius. Tyrone called Carrie and told her they had zero connection, so he don't want to talk to her no more. And so that's why Tyrone was at the bottom. But then Tyrone turned around and called Shiloh. I guess Shiloh is someone that he is interested in, and says he felt really bad for breaking it off with Carrie and having the phone call the way he did. But he can only entertain, in this process, he can only entertain 3 women at a time. I respect that so much. It sounds awful, but I respect his honesty so much. Like, I got a job. I know this is a dating show, but I can't carry on with 10, 12 of y'all. I could 3. I got my top 3 and that's it. Then the only 3 I'm going to give my time and attention to. I ain't going to play with nobody else's feelings. I respect that. And then even next week when Carrie is trying to confront him about it, he was like, how do you tell somebody, you just not that into them? That's not an easy thing to say. So I get it, Tyrone. I get it. And I respect him and I like him a lot more. So at the end of the day, Carrington is at the bottom because he snapped on Sabrina. I think Sabrina also asked him that age question. She was a lot older. What is she, 40 something? And he's 33. And I forgot what he did, but he cussed her out. Was like, damn it, if I was so concerned about your age, I wouldn't have been talking to you. So that was a turn off. And I think a lot of women don't like hostility, especially when you're just getting to know somebody. Like week 1, if you can be hostile now, you can definitely be hostile later. So Carrington and Corey at the bottom, they're the 2 going on the dates. I don't even want to talk about these dates. Corey is saying Carrington took his ass home. I didn't appreciate the way he was talking to Camille at the date. I thought he was going to be like, oh girl, or oh boy who was dating Liz, who didn't want to be told he wasn't ready to love. I thought he was going to get up and leave before the ladies got to say what they had to say. Carrington was a red flag. Once he said he can't cheat because he don't be in relationships, go ahead and let him go. Yeah, go ahead and let him go. I can't believe Corey is still here. Like, what week does copy and paste go home? Because Mumin, he ain't the one for you. I can already tell. And I feel like production just wants Corey around. But okay, we done already seen his copy and pasting work. It was cute one episode. It was the next. We can go ahead and let him go. But anyway, that's the end of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Get in the comments and let me know what you think about who went home. I just can't believe Corey is still here, and he gonna be here next week because next week is gonna be a ladies' week. This a mess. It's a mess. I just can't get over copy and paste. But go ahead and like this video, share the video. I appreciate it, and definitely get in the comments. If this is your first time watching me, Angie, at Kiss My Cheeks TV, go ahead and hit that subscribe. I appreciate all of your love and support of my channel. And I'm off. I still have to do Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's coming up next. And you will get Real Housewives of Potomac tonight too. So I will see you all later. Bye.